Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Bryan's Business World. Today, we're going to talk about investing in real estate. And this will be sort of the first video we have in a long-running series of videos regarding investing in real estate. Now, a lot of people want to get into real estate because it is quote-unquote passive income. So I hear that a lot. Get passive income, invest in real estate, that type of thing. So as a threshold question, or rather a threshold issue, let's look at what, quote, passive, unquote, is and is not, and really ask the question, is real estate passive investing or not? Or is it something different? So let's start, defining terms. Those of you who are fans of ours know that we like terms and to have a common understanding on this show. So passive means if you have a passive investment that you do very little or next to nothing in terms of actual work and oversight of that particular investment. So what would be a passive investment? In theory, if you invested into a indexed fund, so a mutual fund that tracks the broader stock market, let's say S&P 500 or the Dow Jones, and you did absolutely pretty well, maybe not absolutely, but pretty close to nothing after that, and just let the fund roll on and reinvest, that would be considered a passive investment. Now, is any investment completely passive, or should any investment be completely passive? The answer to that is no. If a lot of people think that when they invest, like in a mutual fund or in a index fund, that their investment they should just sort of invest and forget about it. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. The investment professionals are managing it from now on. If you do that, it's very likely that every dime you have will be taken from you by people who become aware that you're not watching your investments. So even a, quote, passive investment like an index fund, you need to be monitoring, you need to be tracking it, you need to be aware of what's going on with it. So no investment is 100% passive if you care for your money and you care to make a return. With that being said, certain investment vehicles, like the index fund, certain mutual funds, are fairly passive in terms of you invest it, you might monitor the performance of it, may talk to your financial advisor, but pretty much you're not doing anything active day to day, week to week, or month to month, and sometimes even year to year with those funds. Now, I hear a lot of times, you see this on the internet or in infomercials or in books, passive income for real estate. And what I'm assuming they're referring to is the quote, income from rent is passive. You don't have to, quote, do anything active or work for the rental income. And I think this is a real common misperception of real estate. Real estate actually is a much more active form of investment. It requires much more actual work and participation to be successful than is widely realized. So if you're going into real estate with the prayer and the hope of it being very passive or totally passive, buy the house and collect the rent checks, you really should not get involved in real estate at all. Why? Because, simply put, it's not passive. There are passive, you're going to be required to do a fair amount of activity with real estate, and sometimes a lot of activity in a very short period of time regarding your real estate investments. It's not just going to be collect the rent check forever and do nothing. So how is real estate? Now you might be saying, well, everyone says it's passive, Bryan, and you're the only one saying it's not. So how is it active, and how does it require actual serious work from you? Many ways. Repairs and maintenance, doing significant renovations to keep competitive on the rental market. Now, the rejoinder to that is, well, you hire people and you call people to do the repairs and the maintenance and the renovation. If the landlord's not involved in that, I have some really hard news for you. Repairs won't get done, you'll be overcharged, and your property will likely be a mess. So you have to do quite a bit of active, involved work, both with maintenance and renovations. Whether or not you ever pick up a hammer yourself, you're going to be doing that and going to be doing quite a lot of work with that. Also, The work level with real estate as an investment is not predictable. It tends to come in waves. So you can have a lot of really intense activity in a short period of time that's not on your calendar. You can't plan for it, and you will have to manage it and deal with it effectively if you're going to be successful. So what might cause one of these waves, for example? Well, let's say a pipe bursts in the basement. Then you're going to have to swoop into action, call remediation companies, potentially rip out the drywall, the carpet, all sorts of good things like that, and really fix it. And you're going to have to be involved with that. The process may take several days, weeks, or even months. You could have a sewer line back up or collapse on you. Again, that's going to require a lot of active involvement from the landlord, and there's no way around it. So a couple closing thoughts for you. Is real estate a passive investment, as you've heard? As a 20-year-long real estate investor with a lot of different properties and markets and seeing a lot of different market conditions, I should say, the answer to that is no. There's quite a bit of more active involvement if you want to be successful in real estate than is widely sort of sold and marketed on the internet and on TV and that sort of thing. With that being said, if you are willing to put in the work and do the hustle and the due diligence, you can be very successful in real estate, but do not delude yourself that real estate is a far more active investment requiring greater supervision and greater oversight consistently than some other forms of investment. So I hope you've enjoyed that and maybe clarified what is passive investing, what is not passive investing, and where real estate falls for you. And again, with all that being said, I'm a huge fan of real estate. So if you are willing to work, willing to hustle, and willing to put in the time, it can be a great investment for you and really be a fundamental bedrock of getting some financial freedom later in your life. Hope you've enjoyed our show today. Please feel free to leave comments, email us. Look forward to hearing from you, and we'll be talking soon. Thank you.